Hi everyone, this is the meetup, the truth about e-commerce. Today we're gonna host a session and hey may I ask me anything related to Shoppi Pay. For the first 15 minutes around, we're gonna just explain you the state of art, what's going on with all over the market, and explain you for the reason of understanding better about how it works with crypto and blockchain, because most of you just are curious or interested and want to know more about this world. So we're gonna start with the first slide to just present to you the reason why we created this community, this meetup. The meetup has a long story, so we talked a lot about e-commerce, shopping, and all that stuff to just put together a community of sellers and buyers worldwide. We believe a lot in the shopping as a reason, as a experience for a local community. That's why we can see from the next slide the reason why we have created this meetup. We want to also to help you with your brand if you have one, or if you want to build one brand, to empower you, to help you with this new era where you need something to boost your presence. Let's go to next slide. I want to show you clearly what are our community values if you want to join us. So we want you help us and at the same time help yourself to spot the right products, the right experience that you love. So we want people promote that kind of stuff. It's not all about buying and doing shopping or just sell products. It's about sharing the experience that you are having. And we want to share your stories with others. That's why we merged together also the travel part. So shopping and travel, and that's the reason why the meetup has this wider audience. Be honest, if something you don't like for example, there are part of the community that you want to improve, or you're using products that we are promoting, or there are just questions that you want to meet up. That's our goals for this community. If you want to connect with us and you want to go to larger audience, if you're seeking support and the on for maybe your business, or just to understand more about we're talking about, because we can change the topic. So we offer breaking news, discounts for some events. Sometimes we offer online courses and job opportunities. It's all about if you do e-commerce, if you are involved in some way with shopping and e-commerce. So if you are more professional in that, that's the benefit that you can get it from that. So let's go to the next slide. So I've said at the beginning we have today an agenda. So they were at the state of art when we explain you everything about the blockchain, the decentralization. Then we talk a bit about Shoppi Pay. That's today about the Shoppi coin, and we're not gonna talk about that. And we get Ask Me Anything session. Let's go with the next slide. So decentralize the world. I think we need that because the software is eating the world. So we have more software, we have more technologies, but the point is you can control everything. And if you make a centralization, like you have big companies, they showed us they can have troubles. If we take a look to Facebook, they have troubles to manage all the bad comments they have in the platform. So we saw the crisis, for example, with the President Trump, with the former President Trump. And so we noticed that we have more and more technologies, but you can control everything. So I think the reason why we need some decentralization, I think that's where the blockchain comes for us. That's why the technology that decentralize everything help us to manage better. So let's talk about how it works. So when we have the centralized decision, we have person or more persons. They work maybe for an institution or for a company, and they make decisions. That means no one should complain that because they know what they are doing. They are there for a reason. Let's say, for example, Apple is a centralized for sure company, so they make decisions about the products they want to roll out. So, and when we think about decentralize everything, I want to give you an example. So if you want to make a decision, so this sounds more democratic, and you ask to 10, 20, 30 people about the decision, so you get kind of vote. So you get votes, and you are going up, up, up if the things is okay, and then they make the decisions. I think that's in principle that's what it's about decentralization. For sure, when we approach the blockchain, the things change a bit because we don't have kind of people only, but we have also the technology that is decentralized. And that's the way blockchain works because we are storing that data. I think that's the point for decentralization and blockchain. I think we are storing data all over the clusters, and we don't know much about the clusters because they are encrypted. So it means that you can get the numbers, you can get a code, but you don't know exactly where the data are. I think that's very, very interesting because you have high security standards, and so it's anonymous, so you don't know exactly where this data is stored, and so everyone can be part of that. I think storing data over the blockchain, I think that's the point. And for sure, this is what exactly looks at the basic if we take a look to the centralization of blockchain. So let's move forward and talk about the Shopee. That's, I think, the point that can introduce better the discussion of today. So is shopping centralized today or decentralized? I think for sure it's centralized because if we take a look to examples like, for example, Amazon. So we have this kind of big company and this huge company, it's more than big. It's just managing everything, data, shipments, products, everything. They have a kind of big data center where they manage everything. The point is they have all data. They ship directly to you, so they know where you are, they know where you live. And I think interesting point that you buy what they sell, so you don't have a real decisions about the catalog analysis. So they put online the products, then you select if you like it, good. If you don't like, sorry for you. Let's have a look to payments. I think another big point right now, especially with the new development in the world, we need system that decentralize the payment system. If we take a look recently with the sanction against Russia, so we have noticed that, for example, the banking system that back on SWIFT can't work. For example, the Russian people can get inside the metro. They can because they can pay the ticket with Apple Pay, for example. They have to use cash. So are the payments centralized? Yes, they are. They have your data. So when you get a credit card or when you sign up for a financial service, you give them data. And I think that's funny thing. They authorize you. It's like, okay, you can use your money with my technology and the stuff that I have, blah blah blah. So that's, I think, interesting. You are at their own conditions. Means commissions, like you pay when you use the card. You pay, for example, per monthly. You have fees. I think that's another big point because you have a cost to just keep and maintain the service that you are getting, but they are still your money. So let's go next. Blockchain projects. So we saw a lot of blockchain projects. Why? I think the first reason is because the decision is spread over multiple people. So just imagine you want to set up a company like managing payments or a company that's doing complex tasks. You need a task force, you need a team, you need a board, you need certification. Could be very, very challenging. But If you have more people and you can spread decisions and you can build a community on top of that, you can build strong products. Only point is the development is funded by the community. If you want to build a product, if you want to do the next I don't know, credit card system or the next Amazon or whatever you want to do, you need to develop something. You need to do the software. You need to create the technology around that, and you need money. The point is, when you need money, you need investors, and with the old system, you need to go to the banks, you need to go to private investor, and you need to use them to develop your products. Let's say that's very challenging. With the community, you can take advantage of the community to get the money for the development, because the developers working at the blockchain project and they have a kind of return. They are kind of shareholders of the projects. And another reason why there are blockchain projects, they are very disruptive. Let's say you move money without any authorization, just in a couple of seconds, and you don't need anything else. So you need the middleman. Can be very disruptive. Let's go about why shopping and travel together. What we think that shopping and travel will merge together. Because we talk a lot about metaverse, NFTs, and everything else. But we are still humans. I mean, we need interactions, we need experience, we need to socialize, we need to collect memories. And I think that's the big point for us. And that's where I think shopping in general and travel could help us a lot. Next slide. Shoppi Pay. So the topic of today, it's about promoting that financial application over the blockchain. And it's about local payments without borders. I want to spot you some advantages. I think when you travel abroad, I've experienced a lot of time. You have problems with currency exchanges, you have problem with cash, you have always some troubles. And it's not about to go shopping. It's about, for example, doing experience. So if you want to host it by a local, you have some sort of trouble to rewarding people around you. Let's say you helped by a local. That's what happened, for example, to me when you don't have the taxi, or you are just too far. So maybe you ask local the favor. So you can reward them. It's tricky sometimes. And so that's where we need something. Let's like say, okay, I want to give that money to you. Another big trouble that we have when you travel and when you shop in general, so sometimes we are divided by standards. It's happened a lot, for example, in Europe. You have different kind of banking systems. You have different banks for sure. Sometimes you enable, disable some territories when you shop, for example, with your Visa card. Sometimes it's very tricky. And not everywhere they accept credit cards, so that could be very, very, very tricky. I think we have a lot of currencies worldwide. We have very lot of currencies worldwide. So I suggest you to try Shoppi.finance to get the app, to just have it. To have a look. If you can get rewarded, you can get some shops and you can exchange with people. Just propose it. So interesting that we can talk about Shoppi app. So that's the application connected to Shoppi Finance. I think when you want to live the culture of someone else, like when you travel or you don't travel, you are just researching about Italian design, US made products. For example, you live in Asia or you live in India, in some countries where there is a lack of information. So there are good things abroad, but you can explore them. I think the point is you can explore now with this application. So you can select basically the city that you want to visit. Maybe before your trip or after. It doesn't matter. What we want to do with this application is to just not having borders when you have this approach to shopping experience, because we think we need more interactions. We need to boost the economy in general, and we need more cross-border transactions if you want to grow, I think, as a world. So I think that could be interesting to try out. I want to give a disclaimer because right now we're gonna move to question and answer to ask me anything. So the company doesn't recommend you to buy these tokens for investment. I mean, if you want, you can do that for sure. But let's say this is not a real investment. It's kind of utility that you buy actually to use inside the application and to interact with other applications. And I think that's the big reason why people they are buying it, because they want to keep, and when everything is ready they can use it. So to participate, to ask me anything session, you can go on slide.do and you can type the number I'm reading for you. That's 454 7 0. So just type this on slide.do, sli.do. And let's move forward with the questions that we have right now. So we already 6 questions. That's not that bad. I will start from the first one. Let's got some upvotes. What are your plans for this coin? Well, we did what is called white paper, but I can give you an overview of our plans. For us, the part of the shopping is quite important, especially for people that are moving and they commute and they travel abroad. And for the future plans, we want to include people in the process of the organization and of keeping this huge database of companies around. So what we call that tokenization of the business model. So that's quite new. So when you create a company, when you create an organization, you need to do a kind of development of all the processes. Like for example, you need fresh data, you need pictures, you need prices, you need content creation. There are some actions, and so what we want to do is to give you rewards to do those actions and to support the community. Let's say you want to suggest a company to join us and accept our payment system, you can do that. And so I think that's the big plan for us. You need to be part of this. Second question: are there opportunities to increase NFT and charities? For us, creating an address just for this purpose. Yes, we have on the plans to develop this part on NFT because we think that people can collect this kind of arts when they are abroad. So we have already in mind to give you this opportunity. And yes, I think we can do something to support different causes. That's a thing that we want to implement as well. We need to be careful when we think about that because there are a lot of causes around, and we want to let people choose, and so we don't want to prioritize one cause or over one other one. But what we want to do is to introduce in the marketplace the ability to collect NFT. So for now, I can give a lot of information about that because we are thinking about that part. Like for example, with stamps when you go around, when you visit a new city, and so this I think could be interesting. So another question: do you believe that big investors are afraid to invest due to low LP? So that's the liquidity. If no, what are your plans to make them invest? If yes, then outcome is still very low. Yeah, I understand the liquidity issue on the decentralized exchange, or for example some centralized exchange, but we believe that this is temporary. And so for sure, if we are in talk with big investor, I think they are not interested in taking over a big chunk of the tokens, because we are still a real company. So they are more like to take some equity stake inside the company and see for a small part. For sure, we have a plan to add more liquidity, but we need to make the right operations. For now, we don't see the urgency to fix that, and I think this is also connected to the fact that we can't just put big money for now. So we are focusing a lot on the product. So we want to invest more in the product, making useful, and then grow together. So another question is, why should we invest in Shopee Coin? So I think the word investing. So you can do that, but I can tell to you you have to invest, or there is a good reason to invest. There are a lot of projects around. I think this project deserves your attention, but this is not kind of real investment in the sense of the calculating a return of investment. I think in this scenario, you can for sure put some money and just wait what's gonna happen, but you can predict anything because I think in general projects related to blockchain, they are good enough when they are well developed, and that's what we are doing. So we are focusing on the product. So the only thing that you can do is to support us, and don't think that just another coin where to put money to become billionaire, stuff like that. Just be realistic. Just support us, and then you will be, for sure, you'll be rewarded. Um, Shopee is a trading platform. We see the object of Shopee coin in the market. Let's say to translate better this. So the question is really about the trading platform. If we trade, I think. I mean, we want to become a kind of trading platform, but related to travel. For example, if you want to bid on a ticket, and if you want to buy a flight ticket, or you want to book a hotel, so we want to create this kind of trading. But in general, we are not interested in the trading like, for example, there are already exchanges. For example, if you want to trade Bitcoin, so we are not interested in that. So there's something external to our core business. Another question is, when 1 cent. It's easy to predict. So it's about the math, but in general, we don't know the exact day. But I'm pretty sure that when we release the application, so we onboard more people. I think it's all about the math, because we don't have a big supply of these coins, and so when this scarcity, the price grow up a lot. So it's not hard to predict if you just stay with the numbers, if you check every day. But I don't know the exact day. Let's say if 10 people start putting money in the coin, in 10 days we can grow up a lot. If there are 100, and it's not hard to find them, could happen for sure. 1 cent compared to other meme coin, like for example Shiba Inu or like Dogecoin, etc. So it's more harder for them to reach higher value, because they they have a lot of supply there, and I think they have millions and millions of coins. So in our scenario, we have a maximum supply of 100 million coins. I mean, it's the deflationary token, and is for the value for the community is very huge. So where is the app available? If you mean like countries, we are Europe, China, and for sure United States, Latin America. I mean, they are available. They are translated in English, German, Italian, Spanish, Arab, Chinese, Japanese. So we translate it, we localize it. That so you can find out on App Store and Play Store. uh, how does it work? Shoppi Pay. I would like to understand what I can buy my coins and what are the benefits. Okay, first benefit, we want to cash back. We want to reward you to use the application. That's, I think, the first point. So we want to make your neighbor Julius, like to say, okay, you are shopping with a Shopee coin and we are not. We want to help you and protect you from inflation. So right now we introduced a new feature that you can exchange money with friends. Like, for example, you type $10, the system converting directly in shop, and you can manage to pay your friend or family. Online, you can use it already on Shopee.app. So when you place an order inside the marketplace, we generate a QR code that you can scan it, and then you can check out, you can pay, that's it. So you can already use it. In this case, the liquidity of the centralized exchange doesn't matter, because basically we are sending you the product. So I think that's a big point for most of you guys, that you concerned about the liquidity. So okay, we have another. Okay, about shop, because next Bitcoin they say to the moon, but now where is the moon? I want moon. Okay, that's so I understand. I think the comparison with Bitcoin is not that bad, because we have the limited supply of, I say, the 100 million. So means that we are a low supply token, like Bitcoin. But I mean, the comparison is not that bad, but the name is good. I think if you talk about Shopee going shop, it's all about marketing, right? So regarding the moon and people that want to see to $1, $10, $20, I understand. I want the same. But what I've noticed is that you have to organize a bit before doing just marketing, because we did some tests with the marketing. We did some advertisements, and now we are thinking about using YouTube videos as well. But we need to build that marketing over the product or on top of the product, because you have the risk to do too much marketing and people get know the coin, they buy it, they suck, they don't know how to use it. So what we are doing is to just keep everything balanced, so having some patterns. Okay, how many active users does Shopee have, and what is your MRR? So I don't have all the numbers in mind, so we have a dashboard for that. If you have a look to our applications on mobile application, you can check out the downloads. About the active users, we are fragmented all over different countries. So just to give some rough number, so we are around of 500 users per month, uh, plus a base of active users on 5,000, 10,000. The point is, we are targeting growing. And so about the MRR, so this is more complex, because in this case we act as a marketplace. So it's more about transactions. It's more about the people, what they buy. So to have monthly revenue, you need like customers. And so we are to launch a subscription to using some benefits of Shoppi Pay. It's like $1.99 per month. This is need to be launched. So if we don't launch it yet, we have all the marketplace side that's quite different. So related to merchants, so we offer already to them an avenue where to advertise. And if you have a look to the roadmap, all the part of the monetization where we get some money on board, like a monthly basis, it's just what we are creating. So that's part of the roadmap. So this company has been up for a few years, but it doesn't seem like it's growing, hiring, and this is a real startup. So when we approach the term startup, I mean, you can be a startup. It's not about the years that you are incorporating. So what we did with Shopee was creating an ecosystem. So the intellectual property, the technology around. So Incorporated the company doesn't mean that you are already on the market like the first day you incorporate the company, but it's all about creating all the structure that you need to do that. So we have freelancers that work with us. So we have people that work with us for real. So that's, I think that's a big point that we pay them already because we have built up the product. So about the grow, that's the reason why we go over the blockchain. I think that's very challenging for a company like that because there are also competitors to grow. If we talk about just growing, have more users, more orders, I think it's something possible always. But we shoot for the moon, as well for the entire marketplace for the coin. And so that's the reason why we just moved this project over the blockchain because we can reach more people like you today. You can use it. You can get affectionated to the brand. You can use the coin. You can use our products. I think that's the point why we are moving the marketing over the blockchain. Because if we do all by our own, the growth is slow. So let's check if there are more questions. As a business owner, can I set Shopee going? How? So we have the product to do that. So it's called Shoppi Pay, and plus you can use Shopee Go. It's a sub product for merchant where you can set up your store with your catalog. You can generate your QR code and you get paid. But you can use Shopee Pay like something just swiping money around, swap money. So that's not a big problem here. As a merchant, we invite you to use the coin to transact to use it because that's the reason why we create it. So let's say if there are more questions around. Okay. So I think that we have. Let's check. So waiting more question because we have to upload. Okay. I think that's new. What is your vision for shopping in 2030? Wow. Wow, that's interesting. I think we put that on the blockchain for a reason to make it grow, and at the same time we can take care of the product. We stay focused on the product. So we aim to replace the existing marketplace, especially the one focusing on local payment system. So in 2030 we aim to be a big brand and cover almost all transactions related to the shopping and travel, but we need for sure your help. Let me check more questions. Sorry, because some questions get up and down based on the vote they get. When an exchange, cool. Yes, we applied to Bitfinex, Bittrex, Binance. We applied as a project, so we show you the product, the projects, everything. So we need to be very carefully because we want for sure to be in a big exchange. I think that's the next step for us. We inquired more centralized exchanges. So actually, we are just holding, and we are trying to understand what is the best exchange. I mean, it's not about the money or the popularity of the exchange, but it's about the mission of the exchange. For example, when we launched the token on P2B, we were attracted by their startup launchpad, the idea of promoting startup ideas. And so we want to keep this kind of approach. So we want to cooperate with biggest changes. I think Binance for us could be interesting because they are very focused on the products, and for sure we use their blockchain already. So I think this could be interesting. It's I mean, it's realistic for us because we are an utility token, so that's good for them. So we don't have a big max supply. So all of the community is genuine. So we don't speculate too much. So we want the project to success. So let me check if there are more questions around. Here, plans for this one. Other ways to increase. That's where we did. I think at the moment we don't have more questions. So I think that's fine. Probably on other channels like the chatting system that we have, because we streaming that's for us. That's the first time we stream on multi-platform. Probably we get some questions there, so we're gonna answer. So what I suggest you is to retweet, share again, share the links on YouTube. If you are watching this on Twitter, please retweet, like, etc. I understand that you want to see big numbers. I understand that you want to see growth. That's what we want. But it's not all about numbers and time. It's also about preparing to keep the growth and keep the numbers going. Because when you shoot to the moon, you need to have the right jacket. So I think that's the big point. Thanks everyone for attending this session, for your questions. I hope you found this explanation very interesting. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks a lot for attending us. So I think that's it. Just reshare and share again. And if you want to go again for more questions, so like on slide.do. I saw another question that I will ask very fast. Are you going to burn any tokens? Yes, we have the burning feature, and so we're gonna use it. But we need more orders, we need more development. So I think I hope I have answered your question. I think we are okay with the questions, and so I'm just checking Telegram. So please share everything, like when the overall streaming ends, we're gonna have the live video recording on YouTube, so you can just get on YouTube, and that's it. So again, you can use slide.do, and so you can have a look to the questions that we made. So I'm just what are the requirements for Binance? So what I can tell you, because there are some disclosure about telling you details. So you need a strong product. You need to be focused on the product. You need to be useful, and you need a strong community. I think that's the 3 key points, and I think that's the big reason why we tried it. So I can give you more details about that, because there are some disclosure, and so you can't discuss too much. So I think that's the big point here. So we are trying to make this project notice it, because we have the product, we have the intellectual property, we have a small community for sure, but we need tremendous growth, and I think we can unlock that with a big exchange for sure, and more investments. But we have to see that. I mean, we need the right time for that. So I think we did the first step on joining everything on the blockchain, start to tokenize the company. So I'm just looking for more questions. If you want to join on slide.do. So most recent questions. So again related to exchanges, but I already answered to you. Investors that I answered. So I think if no more questions comes, I think we can just ask you again to share and just to use this video to spread the word. I mean, to tell to others, to your friends, to your family, because I've said you can already use the application, so you can do that. And so important thing, we are we don't apply taxes on sale and buying of this token, so we are most transaction free. So for sure you have to pay the network fees, but it's not up to us. And so I think that's very useful for you in general. I mean, you have a token that's transferred in a couple of seconds, you don't pay. I mean, if we take a look to network fees, sometimes they are like 2 cents or 1 cent, so that's very low compared to credit cards and their own. So I strongly suggest to use our products, to give us feedback, to help us to improve, and channel growth will come. So I'm checking if there are more questions. So I think we are okay with the questions. I'm just checking also Telegram, the community, because I think some guys just are not familiar with that. So just this jogging, so we keep trending. So people want us to keep on trend on CoinMarketCap. I want to tell you also that we were on trend on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko for a few days. I mean, trending means that your volume, that your transactions are very high, and there are a kind of spikes on the amount of tokens traded. So that's very important achievements. So important. We are listed on CoinMarketCap. So I mean, that's not happens every day. It's not easy, so we achieved that. So we are looking for the next step. So I think there are not coming more questions, so just refreshing. If you have questions on Twitter, so we can collect them on Twitter directly. I think in general, so we are fine with over the presentations. So I think we can just have a look to the community, like Telegram, Facebook, Twitter, so you can follow us if you don't do that. And so to give us, for example, Telegram, it's related to Shoppi Coin, and so you can check out the links, so we put on the description for you. Thanks for watching all this live. I'm eager to grow and to shoot to the moon, so let's go to the moon together. As a leader of this project, I'm just giving you information. I don't want to pump your enthusiasm too much, because I believe that we have to do marketing and to prove with facts that we are doing something. So it's not all about to the moon every day, but it's also working hard for that. So thanks for watching. Please share with your friends, with your family. If you have more questions, we can go in other channels like Twitter, like Telegram. So I think that's it. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening, and thanks for watching.